the game. Actually, no, the laning phase one because that's where I struggle the most, and because ever since
Word.
the durability patch, I think I've lost a lot of LP because my fundamentals are very weak. Before I used to be able to brute force my way into a win, right? But now I can't do that as much.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lot more difficult, and I can tell that my fundamentals are weak to begin with. When I played with some 1Ks, I could tell that it wasn't as strong as the 1Ks, but
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well.
still at still at the very least I was able to get a few games in and try to record, and I ended up getting this game and the other game, the nuke game.
Okay.
Uh,
So.
kind of got griefed, but I think the laning phase is still like a good part to look at.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. So. What's the problem with this scenario already?
Well, my bot lane is in the river bot side,
Okay.
and their bot lane is here,
Meaning.
assuming the meaning that we lose the fight, and it's not a good word. I wanted to help Mass G because on habit, I kind of get afraid of getting pinged because I didn't follow the call, and it's something that I really struggle with in every game basically when I play. It's just the fear of getting pinged is
That's why you gotta
what
mute all at the start of every game. I think we talked about this, or was I? Did I talk about this with someone else?
I don't think we talked about it,
Oh, okay. Well,
but
yeah. If teammates ping you is ever affecting your gameplay, that means you need to just mute all at the start of every game. I mean, you don't need anything from teammates. You don't need their pings. You don't need their chat. Nothing. It's all useless anyway. So, like when I was tryharding on my main a few days ago on stream, first thing I did, mute all, and it's because like me, I need it too. Like teammates pinging me affects me as well. And if they ping me and then I mute everybody, I already know that they pinged me, so that will affect me. Like I'm not some zen fucking monk that doesn't get affected by teammates being rats like that. So I get ahead of it and just mute everybody at the start if I actually care about winning, and then it makes a big difference. It's probably my number one tip to most people, especially in like the Diamond Master area. Um, so yeah, this was a big misplay because their bot lane was here, like you said. I wouldn't even flash. Yeah, I wouldn't even flash if I was you there. But yeah, your Yi trolled, then you followed him to troll because of your feeling of helping people, and now it made everything worse. But let's see. I mean, Fiora. Thing is, Fiora doesn't have. She didn't buy, and she doesn't have a pot, so it is winnable. Oh, and she. Okay.
I still feel like against matchups like these, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel very nervous because I know how volatile they are, especially the like matchups like Fiora, Camille, Irelia, any of those strong champions, right? I
Mm-hmm.
get very like angsty when I'm playing against them. Like I don't know what to do because they seem so strong, right?
Okay.
And I guess during this period of time, I felt like I wasn't really playing as well. So that confidence factor that I talked about
Mm-hmm.
like 2 sessions ago, that's
Mm-hmm.
something that I struggle with as well.
Yep.
But still didn't know what I should like go for, like what how to make the game plan initially.
Yeah.
Uh,
So that's normal, and we're gonna get your confidence back up once you start to feel like you can know how matchups should go. Um, but it's piece by piece. Like the game is like for example, no matter how this matchup goes when it's perfectly even, everything is now changed based off what just happened. So what I mean by that is she has no potion. She has this much HP. You have 3 potions. So in this much HP. So the matchup is now totally different than than it would be next time you play this. So what I mean by that is, so right here, look at this click right here. The vital's right here, and you grabbed a CS, and she has no CS to go for, meaning it's her turn. That's how you can think about this. Laning, like, it's her turn. Your auto's on cooldown. You know she has no CS to go for. She is looking for something right here. So this click needed to be this way. Pull the vital away from her. Now, you actually have two options. Because, like we just talked about, you have 3 potions and she has none. The amount of, any damage she takes is going to stick. It's not the same for you. So you either could click this way to try to get away from the vital, or you could know it's coming and go towards her and just all in level 1. Especially since you took bone plating.
Right.
Both options are fine. I would prefer, if I were you, I would have just looked for all in level 1, because even if you like lose the trade and you take half HP and she doesn't take that much and she takes like a fourth of hers, so then she's half HP, you still win because you have more potions. So that dynamic right there, the sustain dynamic, is totally in your favor, so you need to make sure you use that. So we'll see what you do. Okay, don't let her get any CS here. Yep, just stay right here. Okay, so right there, you're using, so like this isn't, okay, so there's no CS for her to go for right now. None of these are in last hit range.
Right.
So this should never hit. Right?
Right.
See what she does?
Yeah, she just walks back because she has nothing to last hit. I guess something that I think you might be trying to get at is like defending my minion wave. So I would trade only if like the minion are there to get last hit, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, laning in general, like laning is all about CS. That's all it actually is. Like down to its core is 2 players fighting over CS. Now, let me explain something quickly. So let's say you go and trade with her when she's not going for CS, right? And since like laning phase is a cooldown based thing where like you guys both play around each other's cooldowns. Let's say you trade with her and she's not going for any CS and it works out. You get like half her HP, but then your abilities are down. Then she walks up while your abilities are down and grabs a bunch of CS. So then, like, you're not denying any CS because you're only trading with her when she's not going for CS. But what if you trade with her when she is going for CS, she has to choose, and it makes it so if she doesn't want to take damage, then she has to give CS. And if she does grab the CS, then she takes damage. So then it syncs up your abilities with moments she's going for last hits. Do you see what I'm saying here? That like if you only trade with her when she's not going for CS, she's still going to easily be able to collect CS because your abilities are down. But if you're using your abilities when her CS are up, then you're actually making her choose between 2 different things, taking damage or giving CS. And that is how you make someone, that's how you get CS leads. And that's basically what laning is about. And solo kills happen when people get greedy for CS at a high level. Right. Does this kind of make sense? This dynamic I'm talking about?
Definitely. For me, specifically, I've always had like the habit of trading, right? Because when I got coached before, it's just I was too passive in lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now some games I'm too aggressive in lane, and then I miss CS for it, and they still collect CS for it, right?
Right, exactly.
And so I understand how to trade a little bit better now, like to play around my minions instead of just trading up front, because I've always like wondered, oh, when should I really be trading? Should I just be coin flipping just because I'm stronger? Or like
right. That's why Dopa always says like there's no like aggressive or passive play style. It's just right or wrong. Because everything in this game, that's what's like, since I've been playing fighting games in the past year, That's the thing about fighting games that triggers me, is like I don't have minions to play around. I don't have something that can tell me if the play was right or wrong. In League, you can always pretty much tell if it was a right or wrong decision because there's something that you are giving up or something. There's like a price to everything. So like this scenario right here is a perfect example of you not like adapting to this lane state and like what just happened level 1, and then you just like see what she's doing right here. This, I just made a video on this. I was just talking about it. Like this is footsies. There's a fighting game term. Like what she's doing right here, this is called footsies. She's walking in and out of a range to even though she has no CS to go for, she's walking up and back. Like you see these footsies right here where she's walking up and back, and it baits you into doing this. Boom. That's called footsies. She baited something out. She's standing right on the edge of your range, baited out an ability. You took the bait because you weren't thinking, okay, let me just wait for a CS to get low. Then she has to choose. Then she can't just bait this out for no reason. You see what I'm saying?
Right. I also was a bit nervous this game because, like, the player was like 70% win rate in Masters, and I was like, I'm not a 70% win rate player. And I'm like really nervous because I just think every time I go into a game, right? I don't go into the game thinking, oh, I'm better than the player, right? I always think that I'm worse.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I like kind of beat myself up.
Yeah, your mentality is shit for sure. Like, you know, just to be brutal with you, because you need to understand your mentality is more such a huge part of this game. It's like insane. When I first started going against pro players, I remember the first time I was going against Bjergsen, Po Belter, like back in season 6, I would get really nervous too, and I would play bad. I went back and reviewed them, like, wow, I'm giving them so much space to do things that I shouldn't be giving them. And then once I started playing against them like they were normal, once I started understanding that this game, it doesn't matter how good they are. There's a certain way to play the lane, you know, right or wrong. Once I started playing against them like it was just a normal person, I got so much more success, and I could actually beat them. Except for Bjergsen, I still haven't beat him in lane. It's impossible, I'm pretty sure. But everybody else, every other pro player, I can beat in lane. So you have to, like, there's so many things affecting your mentality. Like, if you're checking win rates and that's affecting your mentality, you have to stop doing it. If people pinging you is affecting your mentality, you have to mute everybody. These are things that are necessary. I went against a 70% win rate Talon the other day. One of the worst fucking players I've ever won against. He was terrible. Like, win rate doesn't mean shit. This is like 70% win rate in Masters with Fiora, or Grandmasters with Fiora. I mean, it's fucking Fiora. She's a solo queue stomper, and she's been OP for 2 seasons. Like, you have to get these. Like, you know who's really insane at stuff like this? Bjergsen. Bjergsen's the kind of player that doesn't let outside things like affect him. Like, someone's typing all chat, he mutes them right away. You can see it on stream. He doesn't give a fuck. He's very focused on what he's doing. So, like, in that kind of, like we've talked about the first session, the Q&A you did, League is such a mental game that you have to get ahead of these things that are affecting you.
Right.
Otherwise, it'll be impossible. Like, the fact that you're letting this Fiora do shit she shouldn't be able to do because you're nervous. Like, well, look at her. She's grabbing CS when, like I said, you have 3 potions, she has none. This is fucked up. Because this is like such an important part of the lane. As soon as she hits 2, that dynamic we just talked about doesn't matter anymore, because you can't trade with her without potentially dying. So you have to use your level 1 to, like, assert some dominance in the lane because you have 3 potions and she has none. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. I guess I also played it how I normally would play the matchup, right? I would just let her push me in, and I would, like, trade when the wave is, like, near my tower, because she's, like, in and out trading, right? She's like a poke champion kind of earlier game, and level 1 she typically wins.
Typically,
So,
yes. And that's
but because of this case, right? She didn't have potions. That's why I should be trading more, because I
Right.
have potions and she does not.
Right. That's why I said, like, this might be different than any other time you play this matchup, and that's how League is. Like, a good player are players that notice small differences in someone in like the situation, and then adapt their gameplay because of it. Because, like, now you're fucked. Now it doesn't matter. This 3 potion thing literally doesn't mean anything anymore. She has the next wave coming in. She's level 2. You can't fuck with her anymore. So that huge lead you could have gotten from level 1 is gone. So that was like a big moment in the lane that you needed to use, but you didn't. So now, because what should happen is luckily she actually over pushed. She should have pushed 3 waves in and just reset.
I find myself in this situation kind of a lot. I don't know what to do, and like when they like push like 2 waves in. What should my goal be? Should I start slow pushing, or should I try to bounce it back to my tower, depending on where my jungler is?
I'm confused what you mean by bounce it back to your tower.
So I would like fast push it to their tower and then have it bounce back, like
Can
go
you?
for a recall.
I don't think you can clear a cannon wave fast enough to do that.
No, not in like the next few waves.
Oh, okay. Well, both are gonna happen. Like you should slow push and then so like you have to slow push because what you should do in this exact scenario is try to stop her recall first of all. Like you can give the CS to go stop her recall. You're still gonna get the experience, but if you stop her recall, that's a big deal. So you should walk up right now, try to stop it. If you do, that's great. If not, you just continue slow pushing. Because if you don't slow push, she's going to get back to lane and with an item advantage from her kill, and you're going to be fucked. So, yeah, you have to slow push here. If someone pushes 2 waves in, yeah, you just slow push. Should have used W to get some of those, but it's okay. Okay, yeah, so you just slow push from here. This is a really good time to drop a ward if you didn't know where their jungler was, but you see her. Okay, that's what you do.
How would you say I can practice better map awareness? That's something that I kind of struggle with. I don't like the thought of using like a timer, because that sounds dangerous. What if you're like trading and then it beeps and then it like get disoriented, you know?
I mean, sadly, there's no real answer to that question because it's different for everyone. But some people will do it like every CS. They'll look.
Every CS.
Me personally, I've never used any sort of trick. I just told myself like while playing, like, okay, this game I'm going to focus a lot on paying attention to the map. So yeah, sadly, there's just a different answer for everybody. You just gotta try to figure out how you want to try to do it. I don't recommend like timers that beep or anything like that. Yeah, it sounds distracting. But yeah, I think a lot of people do the like after grabbing a last hit, especially if there's no last hits to go for. Oh God, you're griefing. Okay. So
Yeah, I used all my abilities for no reason.
yeah, use all your abilities and she's right here.
She
So
could just trade back onto me. I have nothing.
yeah, so like
She wouldn't lose anything. She has item advantage.
yeah, and you just used W. Yeah, you just used all your shit for no reason. So yeah, she was trying to get level 3. Now she'll probably look to trade. Yep, don't Q onto her. Good. Okay, now you just wait for your next wave, and then you crash this and reset. Can you just... Oh boy.
Should I just like push it as fast as I can?
You don't have to push as fast as you can, but like I wouldn't be wasting your Q that hits everything just on this. Like I would use it on backline instead. It's not that big of a deal what you do. Oh God. No. Yeah, stay in your wave. Stay in the wave. But see, like using Q on her like this is literally what she wanted. She was sitting here waiting for this, legitimately. Like you're again. I think we talked about this last time, where you're not looking far enough ahead. You need to be not give her any chance to pull any bullshit. Just Q the minions, and if she fights you in the wave, you're good. You just sit. You can just fight her in the wave, but don't give her a chance to do that. Okay, now get this. Well, walk the wave in and then leave. Good. Okay. Wait, you bought a Doran's Blade.
Is that bad?
I mean,
Do you think
I think it's shit because, like, you started longsword, meaning you're trying to get. If you're starting longsword, to me that says you're trying to get to an item faster. You're like forfeiting early beefiness from a Doran's Blade to get have a faster first item. So if you're buying Doran's Blade first back, it's not terrible because, like, yeah, it's an early game item, but I think on Riven, I don't think it's worth it.
See,
Like I said,
I
it's not
usually,
terrible.
I usually buy it because, like in matchups like these, where I
Yeah.
feel like if I mess up, at least I have some of the HP to like
Mm-hmm.
kind of help me.
Yeah, it's good early game. Like I said, that's why it's like it's not a terrible buy. But I think on Riven, if like starting longsword and going into your first item is better. But
I
you're
don't
the
think
Riven
I
player.
should be, I don't think I should be like trading with him here because
No,
yeah,
definitely
he's
shouldn't be doing this.
yeah. I think he definitely can punish me a lot more.
If you watch like Adrian Riven play this matchup, most of his trades are like Q in auto, the little mind game with W, like with both of your W's, and then he will E out
Yeah,
instead of Eing in like this.
he also like tends to like not trade around this side of the map because she can run me down.
Yep.
And my cooldowns are really high early game.
Right. Yeah. And okay, yeah, this is just trolling because, so like it's not your turn. The top lane's a turn-based lane. It's like whoever's the one pushing with the slow push, it's their turn. You need to respect. Like when she's the one pushing like this, you should be in this area looking for defensive trades, where she like overextends and then you like defend yourself but kite away. You shouldn't be playing aggressive here. She should look to punish. Now it depends on. Okay, so you see like CS are getting low, and you're gonna have to. Wow, luckily this player isn't playing right, so she should see that you have low CS, or like CS that you might need to be getting soon, and just let your minions kill them, because you just used all your abilities, but she kills them for some reason.
That's actually pretty smart. I've never actively thought of that.
Like I said, like as soon as you start thinking about laning phase as like a battle for CS, you will understand it a lot more, and you will, if you watch high level players, like very good players, you will see exactly why they do what they do, because you'll realize, oh, they're doing everything based off of CS. Oh, she's griefing, but you shouldn't be able to. Okay, yeah. See, 70% win player, 70% win rate, but they're playing terribly. So, so you tell me why you did this first of all in the first place. Why you were walking up like this?
Because of my minion wave, I wanted to hold the wave there.
So you didn't want her wave to crash.
Yeah, I didn't want it to crash.
Why?
If I hold it there, it makes it harder for her to trade. My Yi is top side. She can look for a gank.
Okay.
That was my thought process.
Okay. So it doesn't actually make it that much harder for her to trade. Because if this is technically going to be a freeze. Freezing actually puts you at a disadvantage when it comes to trading, but because like as you can see here, that this army of minions actually does an insane amount of damage. I don't know why she flashed.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either.
Because there's no world you ever kill her there. But because like see, like she has a fat wave here. She shouldn't actually be that scared of you. I'm not sure what the fuck this guy's doing. So this is a benefit of a freeze though, where like she can't just leave right now. There's that's one benefit of it. When it comes to trading though, there's actually not that many benefits, unless you're like really far ahead. Okay, that was good. Okay, now you're in a really good spot. You hate to
Oh,
see it.
my
So yes.
cannon.
So now you want a hard push. So something important. Let's see if you do it. So how come you're not moving your screen to see this Lilia right here?
I guess I'm tunneled on the minions for some reason. I'm not sure. What is there a reason why you would want me to?
Yeah, because
Lilia?
you're about to hit level 6, right? So depending on what this Lilia looks like, I mean, to be honest, in my mind, as long as Lilia is not level 6, which there's no world she should be, then you can be very confident you can 1v2 them. But if, let's say she's like, you can see she's like 70% HP or half HP or whatever the information you get from her, like then it's like, okay, I can be really confident here and I can attempt to try to bait this 1v2. You know, like you need to get the more, it's like this game's a lot about getting information and then using that information. So in another scenario, if like let's say you're level 7 or let's say you're like if you're level 6 or level 7 and you check and this Lilia's level 5, that's a very big difference than if you check and she's level 6, right? Because at level 5 she has no fucking chance of ganking you. You're Riven. At level 6, that's totally different. So this concept is just like when you see the enemy jungler near you like this or see anyone, like you need to get that information. You need to see, does she have red buff? That changes things. Does she have this? You know, like you have to just get that info. The next thing here is, so Fiora, I think we both know here that this was a really bad thing for her.
From Fiora, yeah.
She's fucked now. So the moment that happens and she starts walking away, especially, and you know she has no flash, you have to just start hard pushing. Like, go. Because she doesn't have TP.
She doesn't have TP and I should dive her.
Yeah, you should be looking to dive. But you're just kind of, like, you're slow pushing here. So now she's just going to reset and come back to lane for free. So there's no punish here.
Yeah, a lot of the things that I do is just based on habit.
Right, exactly. Like you need to be thinking, you need to be constantly, like you see how like inefficient this is. Like you can just tell you're barely worried about punishing her base. Wait, no way she stayed? No, she just got back. So now she collects this huge wave, you see?
Right.
So there goes another lead that you could have had. So there's multiple things you could have done already to get a lead. You're just not doing them. And there's some good moments where like you like that trade earlier, right, where you just baited out her W, but you're not taking the next step. Okay. So this is where things get scary for both players. Okay, so you can't let this stuff happen to you. So it's another thing you'll notice, like when Adrian Riven plays this matchup. I've seen him play this one a few times now. He doesn't use his shield to try to defend poke like this because you have to think about like for a human, we're not capable of that level of reaction time. So instead of like trying to react to something that's nearly unreactable, and do you know Fiora's Q cooldown when she hits it like that?
Like 6 seconds, 5 seconds.
Right. And look at your E cooldown. So if you're trading your E for her Q, that is in her favor every single time. Unless you're like E-ing her Q and trading at the same time. Then it's a little bit different. But you see how just trading 1 for 1, your E for her Q is never in your favor. So you need to like position yourself around her Q better and like try to avoid it in that way. Or if you think she's going to do this, look to use your E and like trade with her at the same time. But point is, you shouldn't be trying to do this, E-ing her Q, because it's not worth it anyway. Instead, look to trade, like after she hits you with Q, maybe jump in and then hit her a few times and E out. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
Cool. That would work the same way with a lot of other champs too. So if we think of who's another champ that has like Camille's W and your E. So like you shouldn't be trying to just E away from Camille's W. You should be trying to E in and use it to trade. It's like a similar situation. It's not the exact same, but it's similar. Okay. This is fine. Yep, you gotta respect her right now. Remember that a part of like there's like not only does she have like minion advantage, but if you go in here and you take half HP and she takes half HP, that
It's
is
winning for her.
right, because now you could be diveable on a slow push and that loses games straight up. So you need to make sure you don't take too much fucking damage when someone's slow pushing, because if you get dove, like see, look at this. What was this for? Think about like what we gained here. There's no CS to get. No CS for you to get. She's literally just trying to force a trade because she knows what I'm talking about right now. That any damage she gets on you is very good right now. And it could lead to a game-losing situation for you where you potentially get dove with and lose 3 ways. So you can't be giving her shit like this. You can just sit in this brush. You get AFK right in this brush. That'd be totally fine. Like high-level top laners will tell you in situations like this,
Money
you
spent.
pop this goddamn potion. This is a very stressful situation.
Pot friends up.
Especially when your jungler is bot side, because now a cross-map play should happen, meaning the enemy jungler could be on Rift, and they could look to grab Rift, put it down top, and dive you. That is a very, very common play. So you have to be very careful in these scenarios. Okay, we see enemy jungler bot. That now you can feel a lot more safe, and you don't have to be so worried about taking damage. Doesn't mean you trade here, but yeah. Thank you for the sub, 702. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna show you like every lane, every matchup, especially as Riven, has like a certain trading pattern. Like this right here, again, is like not the right. This isn't right. This isn't correct, because think about this. Imagine if you walk up here and you just use QW. If you use QW, no one is like no minions are gonna hit you yet. If she W's your W, which is very unlikely anyway, you can E away at the same like to avoid it, so you're not gonna get stunned or anything. If she doesn't W your W, you auto her while she's stunned and then E away to block minion damage. That is like the trading pattern that should happen. You, on the other hand, you do this and go full blown, all in commit, and which lets her Q you back first of all, and then look how hard you lost this trade. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like,
I definitely could have won the trade a lot harder.
yeah, and now look, now you took another poke. So like, you see this trading pattern is just wrong, and I'm gonna show you the correct one. So now you are in kill range, especially if she has ignite. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's talk about this a bit. So, you first tell me what your thought process was here. I'm assuming you're thinking, okay, so she has flash down, her W is down, I'm going to force this all in with my flash.
Yeah, that was probably it.
Okay. So this will come down to knowing your limits. If you know that she is killable right now, then by all means. But let's see. Nice, there you go. So, I would say, I mean, yeah, I guess that's, I want you, the only thing I want you to see here is how like less stressful this could have been if you didn't lose half your HP right off the bat, or like from this right here.
No, I could definitely see it. Like, why make it less like? What if her bone plating came up, or like her jungler was around? Like, there's a lot of things that could have went wrong, and if I had more HP, I definitely it would be less of a flip, I guess.
Yeah, because you were one auto from death, like one vital right there, and
One
you
vital.
die.
Yeah.
So this wasn't a terrible play. It's good that you recognized that you knew you had the damage and that you recognized that her W was down, so you forced it and that her flash was down. That's good. That is good. It's just it's the small things that make a good player in this game. It's not like the ability to do this. It's the small things because you can just the reason good players seem so hard to win in lanes because they have no holes in their gameplay. So using Adrian Riven as an example again, when I want to show you the way he plays this matchup, you will see there's very little gaps for the Fiora to do things like that. He doesn't give them much counterplay with his because his trading patterns. So, and I'll show you because we're almost done this. Kind of want to see how you play with your sums down real fast. Okay.
Play still pretty aggressive because I don't know, dummy aggression. That's what I like to call it.
Okay, so yeah, so here we go. So back to this being a turn-based lane. I think you walked up for CS here. You should just use your whip to grab something like this. Or you can give it. Even giving it is like totally fine. It's better than this. I mean, look what just happened. And then if you just kept walking in a straight line right here. So if you just kept walking in a straight line this way, away from her, then you give her no chance to do this. But like when you stop walking in a straight line, look, she's going to catch up. And then you even turn around and try to auto and trade with her with no abilities. So
Yeah, it's not good.
and now, like imagine this is a different scenario where your jungler's bot, like we talked about earlier, and now you just set yourself up to be dove because you just use flash. So now you are diveable, and you could lose 3. What the fuck? You could use 3. You could lose 3-4 waves on the dive, and then the game's over.
Right.
So like you have to respect when someone's slow pushing into you. Doesn't matter if you're 2-0, 1-0. Luckily, I mean, honestly, this is just a pretty forced gank. It shouldn't really work. It's pretty grief. Yeah, that guy's fucking griefing. So there's nothing you can really do about that. None of this is really your fault. You should never go in here. You should never follow them to go in here. This is a terrible, terrible play. Fiora is such a bullshit champ, though. I gotta say.
Once again, yeah, it's also like the pressure I feel, but I think I'm gonna start muting, like as you said.
Definitely should. I mean, I remember I told you I have the same issue. I had the same issue as you, where my mentality still affects me a lot. Like half the reason I can't even be bothered to put in the effort to climb in this game is because I can't stand watching the terrible gameplay that is high elo nowadays. It's like way different. So I get tilted and I just put up FFs. Like fuck this game. So
Oh, I do that after this play. I was really upset.
So like, if you were very serious about climbing, like if I was very serious about climbing, then I would, mute all, and avoid that pressure because I know what you're talking about. You're very serious about climbing, like you're getting coaching. So when I tell you that muting all is a game changer, it's super OP. It's so insane. You don't feel any pressure. You don't like, cause if you don't mute all and like you wait and you see your teammates start fucking raging and shit, and then you mute everybody, you already know it happened. You already know that people are upset. So even if you mute them after that, it doesn't matter. But you never know when you just start with mute all. Oh wait, you had everybody. You had chat disabled. You just don't have pings muted. And you said F. So this scenario, if we want to, this is a really important scenario though, because this is solo queue. Solo queue is literally dealing with the randomness and the bullshit in the game. That's like literally what this is. So I need you to realize that this right here, if you didn't do this, you're full HP, and after your teammates grief, there's no way you die, right?
Right. Yeah, definitely.
But then you take half HP, and then not only do you take half HP, you follow them. Like, if I were you, I would still be back here. I wouldn't follow that shit. Look at the map state. Where's the enemy jungler? Look at the support on the way up. Look at the enemy mid missing. A colleague pinging that the enemy mid's coming. And you're just like blindly following this terrible play. Did you think this was a good play from them while it was happening?
No, it was not.
Right. So if you know it's a bad play, you need to not follow. And that's hard to do. And I get it. It's like part of it is that pressure. We're like, oh, I got to help them or else they're going to ping. But look, what is he going to ping when he's fucking griefing, dying 1v1?
Yeah.
He can hold that. So, and then here now you're like using your abilities farming CS while the enemy team's coming. Like, you need to get the fuck out of here.
I'm so greedy.
Like, your Yi's a griefing dog, like, for sure, but anyway, so I think we can stop that one from here.
Yeah, I think I got a lot from that.
So now let's quickly, I just want to show you this trading pattern before we look at the other game. Let me see here. Where is this? God damn it.
Money well spent.
Vicarious Smith, thanks for 7 months.
Of this. Now let's see some tank Swain mid Frostfire allay demonic embrace.
Why can't I find this clip? Hold up. I'll find it. Okay, so here's an example of what I'm talking about right here. Okay, so this isn't like what you do every time, but it's an example of how you need to like think about trading. Like, you need to think about different patterns, especially as Riven, because Riven. Oh wait, I need to share screen. I'm sorry. You can see this, yeah?
Yeah, I can.
Cool. So you need to be thinking about like trades like this because you didn't do this a single time, and you can see how little counterplay there is here. So I'll let you see it. Like look at how great of a trade this is.
Yeah, he barely lost HP and he blocked the E damage.
Right. So like this kind of trading pattern, and you have to also see how like non-committal it is. The like top lane, a big thing that separates high-level top laners, like challenger top laners and grandmasters top laners, is understanding that there are certain trades that need to be non-committal. Now, for example, for another champ, Renekton is a great example. A good top laner will trade with Renekton without using E. In general, just not use it. They will just walk up, auto, Q, W, whatever, but not use E. Because, like, let's say the enemy jungler's here, then he needs his E. If you just go in and, especially against Fiora, where things can go wrong, as in, like, you know, she might get a lucky W, because, like, you can't know when she's going to use W every time. Sometimes it's just fucking rock, paper, scissors, right? So understanding that you can have like non-committal trades where you're not just going all in like you did, like we saw earlier when you did that. You need to know when you need to go for these non-committal trades or like actual all-ins. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So this is a good example of when he needs a non-committal trade because I mean Fiora has the minion wave anyway, so he can't just go in. That's just going to be coin flip. We can see if maybe he does it again here. He actually tried. So let's talk about that right there. So now, when I was talking about using E for her Q poke, it doesn't mean like you can try to avoid her Q poke when like with your E, but it has to be for good reason. You don't just like walk up and do it. It needs to be like when you're going for CS or something. That's what he's trying to do here. Like he's going for CS, so he's trying to grab it and not take poke for it. But see, he couldn't even react to it. And sometimes you can react to that. It's not like actually humanly impossible. But the whole concept here is you shouldn't just be like, if you're doing nothing, you're just like kind of playing footsies and then she uses Q. You don't want to try to just use your E to block it. You want to use your E to block things when you're actually going for CS. Because remember, this goes all the way back to literally the first thing we talked about tonight. About there being a price for things. If you're just blocking her Q poke, randomly when you're not going for CS, then when you go up for CS in a few seconds, you're not going to have E. So it's going to be dangerous. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
This goes literally back to the same exact concept. So he's just playing footsies right here because his jungler's here. Clean as fuck. Like, I mean, honestly, it looked dangerous, but he knew what was happening. He knew Fiora was just trying to. Yeah, that was actually really clean. But okay, cool.
What did he do with this wave there?
Right here?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it depends what Fiora has. I don't know if she has Ignite or TP. If she has TP, then he should probably just keep this frozen. But wait, what if we saw it right there? What was it? Okay, I saw TP, I think. So if she has TP, then he should just keep it frozen. But it's actually not going to freeze, so he has to push. I believe it's not going to freeze. Let me see. Yeah, it won't. He tried. He tried keeping it frozen, but it was just one of those wave states where it was like really close. So once he realizes it's not going to freeze, he's gonna push. If she TPs and comes back, he only has two options. He either attempts to use his minion wave to brute force it, or like so he can save TP, or he just recalls and TPs back in. So we'll see what he does. Okay, baiting for the graves. This is why jungle is fucking broken. It's actually disgusting. And that's what happened. So this was greedy. This was greedy from him. Oh, holy shit! That's super worth, but so scary because if Fiora does get that kill, she gets red buff and the game's over. But there you go. You can see how he had two options. He went with the greedy one to try to save TP and to try to bait. He couldn't get his E off. Look at his face.
That is straight eye candy right there.
So yeah, he was trying to like do this and then E away. Yeah, he tried to W into Q, but she got that auto off like right before getting hit. So, all right. So now let's quickly look at your other one.
The nuclear. I just didn't know the exact macro decisions to make.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You can see it, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
I would go through all of the laning phase, but because we don't have that much time, I'm gonna have to skip laning a bit, which I actually hate doing. Hi, mid 10. All right, but you get fed. It looks like. Nice. All right, so let's see what happens when you get fed. What? I don't know what the hell that guy's doing. Okay.
I couldn't decide what items to build this game either because it
Just,
felt like Ezreal was doing damage, but also Diana was doing damage. Couldn't tell what to build.
well, I mean, as Riven, luckily you have the privilege of being able to build damage, and it turns into being tankier.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if Hexdrinker would have been good, even though I was taking like 1k, only like 500 damage from Orianna and Diana.
Maul's not bad this game for sure, but yeah, you definitely need to focus on getting your core and your like items that are gonna make your 1v1 in the side. And you should only really be 1v1ing Fiora, so because Ori isn't gonna side lane. All right, so let's talk about this scenario. This is the first like real macro decision. So you break down to me what's happening right now and what you need to be thinking about. Ugh.
Well, I don't really remember what I was thinking over here, but I do get like lost after taking first tower. Not sure what to do a lot of the time.
Okay, so you just need to break it down piece by piece. Most important thing always is the wave. So let's look at top wave. What does this top wave tell you?
It's pushing to me.
Right, and that tells you what?
I kind of have like a small timer
Right.
to
Exactly.
do something.
Exactly. Hold on one second. I need to get a napkin. All right. Exactly. That's exactly what we're looking for. Is that you have a small timer here, and the last piece really is that means you need to make sure you don't die. Like, if you look for a play here, you need to make sure like it's a play that it's not like coin flipping and get you killed because you have to collect a big wave here soon. If you died here, that's a big throw. And it looks like you realize this, or you're kind of realizing this. And this is fine. This is totally fine. And there's not much you can do right now. Nice. Good. This is good. You said you lost this game?
Yeah, I didn't know what to do.
Okay. We'll probably figure it out. Well, I mean, we definitely will. Okay, and then one more. Yep. Good. We're focusing on the wave. No shit, she tries to fight you here. Oh boy. think you can win. No? Nice. I think you win. It was close. I actually think... Okay, so let's talk about a few things. The thing I was literally going to talk about right after... Like, remember what I said right after I said, look, okay, good, you're focusing on the wave. You were focusing on the wave. But then look what you did.
Shift focus on Fiora for no reason.
This is the exact thing we talked about last session. You're like looking... You're so tunneled on what's right in front of you instead of looking at what you like, thinking about what you should be thinking about. You should be thinking about, okay, I'm just trying to crash this wave, and now I have a huge tempo advantage. That's one of Fiora's like issues in the game in general. That's one of her weaknesses. I mean, she doesn't have many, but this is one of them. She clears waves relatively slow compared to other champs. So that means when you crash a big wave on her tower like this, and when she's going to have to push it back towards you afterwards as well, it's going to take her much longer than other champs. So you have a huge tempo advantage. So instead of focusing on the tempo advantage, you're just jumping in like this, which does what anyway? It's not like you're going to kill her from here.
Yeah.
So, and then enemy jungler shows up, and you have to make this play, which you played like pretty well here. I think, pretty sure if you didn't turn around yet and tried to just keep kiting until this E came up, there was like a chance maybe.
Yeah, I was scared of her Q, so I was trying to dodge it, but and hope that during that animation my ability would come back up. But yeah, it was something close. I should have been more.
Well,
I
regardless,
should have just focused on the wave. Yeah.
right, exactly. That's the main takeaway here, is that you should have been focused on the wave because you don't know where the enemy jungler is, and you should just be looking to use the tempo advantage. Because you have to understand, like, think about this. They were looking for this. And imagine you don't give it to them. Then they might force a gank. If they force it, this 1v2 could probably be much easier, where you're not, giving them what they want, like this W and this setup, or either because you don't take the bait, Diana wastes her time up here, and then she has to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like there is a price to everything you do. So it's the same for them. Like this time she's using up here, if she doesn't get something, that sucks for her. So yeah, you need to focus on using the tempo advantage there when you don't know where the enemy jungler is, and not just jump in for no reason. Okay.
Yeah, tempo is something that I'm still very new to. Like I've only recently been understanding that in the laning phase part of my gameplay, where like recall timers are definitely really important, because it could probably cost you a game if you take a bad recall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let's look at this scenario now. Let's actually go back to here. Come out of base. You're heading to top lane. You grab the wave. So what was the reason behind grabbing this wave and then going to Gromp? There's only one answer here. There's only one reason you should ever do this, so I'm curious what you were thinking.
Wait for, if I step away, maybe she will stop her pretend recall, and she'll push another wave, and I can get another wave.
So why are you afraid to? Why can't you just go push the wave now?
Because then I'll show on the map.
Okay. So the only reason you should ever be doing this, where you go to Gromp, is if you think it's actually too dangerous to walk up and clear this wave because they have like 3 people sitting here or something like that. That's the only reason. Because you're in the mid game now. You're in the part of the game where pressure is too important. Like jungle camps are always last resort things. Things you do when you actually can't do anything else. So your team is making a play bot lane right now. Meaning the enemy team, like enemy Diana, enemy support, they could be on the way to here. even the enemy Fiora could be like recalling and heading there. If you're doing this, what pressure are you putting on the map for anyone to have to respond to? Nothing.
Nothing.
So like you need to be pushing. Like pushing and pressuring makes the enemy team have to make choices. So look, Diana, look, she's in bot river. So this play's happening and you're farming this. Like if I see this, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like it's like it's so tilting to see. Look, you're still not haven't pushed top wave. Like everything that's all you should be focused on doing is pushing your wave, putting pressure on the map, making them have to make a decision with it, and then go from there. Like this? Oh yeah, this is straight up griefing. Doing Gromp into Scuttle, the Scuttle, you should be pushing your wave in, and then if you have nothing else to do, then you come do these. You should never do this.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, we still haven't pushed top wave. Oh, pain. Like, you see how the enemy... So think about if you're the enemy team right now. Think about the difference. Like, this concept that we're going over right now is something that can literally take someone's gameplay from a Masters, Grandmasters level to Challenger. If they have the other fundamentals down, this is like a massive difference. For example, one time, I still remember this because I got my dick kicked in so hard by Impact that I will never forget. I was playing top lane, he was playing Rumble. I was losing lane, and every time, so he was pushing me in constantly and then leaving to go to help the mid fight. But then when he went to leave to help the mid fight, I would try to take that time to push the wave, and he would never let me do it. This happened literally the entire game. I could never push a wave without him stopping me and him pushing it first. That is called keeping a tempo advantage. That is what tempo is. So he had a permanent tempo advantage. And that made me never able to like join a fight before him. That is what should be happening with you right now. That's what you should be doing anytime you win. So you should be pushing this every time, pushing this wave in. That's giving you a tempo advantage. Think of the difference between this wave state for the enemy team now and if you were actually on their tier 2 tower. Think about how they have to make different decisions. Do you see the difference in pressure, how they would feel?
Yeah.
Because look, Fiora's down here.
Yeah, Fiora's down there. The wave would crash. They would lose wave if they don't collect it.
And if Fiora's down here, who's going to collect top wave?
Yeah, no one. Yeah,
well, someone might, but who is it going to be on the enemy team?
Typically Fiora should be.
Right. But if it's not her, who's the other option?
Their mid laner.
Who's Ori? And how, on a scale of 1 to 10, how easy is Ori to dive if you're ahead like this on Riven?
Very easy.
Extremely easy. No fucking Orianna, it wants to go collect a wave versus you in a side lane. So, knowing these things, think about the pressure you're putting on them by pushing top wave in. Then they can't... Think about what the enemy team wants right now. Their losing lane is Fiora, their side laner. Their winning lanes are their Ezreal and Senna, and their Orianna. Champions that excel at team fighting. So they literally want to just group up mid, siege, and team fight. What makes that difficult is if they have someone like you in a side lane forcing people to go match them. But if you're not doing that, they're just doing whatever they want, right?
Yeah.
They don't feel any pressure. They can do this shit all day long. This is literally what they want you to do. Look, now they see you coming and they can do whatever the fuck they want. So like even with this working like this isn't the right play. Because when this is one of those plays that might work right here, but then the next time they actually respect you and they just keep kiting you guys out and you just keep bleeding and then game becomes impossible. Luckily, they gave you, like they fucking trolled here. You kind of overextended there. Hold up. Like, after you got these 2 kills, which I can't even believe you guys got, now you're just chasing. Think about it. What should you do here?
I should be around my teammates and try to secure the dragon that's gonna come up.
Hell no. Try again.
No? I should go back to mid and push the tower?
Now we're talking. Okay. So, think about... since you don't main mid, you don't know that one of the most important like things to understand as a mid laner is that your tier 1 mid is the most important tower in the game. This tower right here is so goddamn important. It literally, you could take all of the enemy team side lane towers all the way to their inhib. You cannot win the game without taking this mid tier 1. It's not possible. Now it would take a little bit to go over why, like all the different reasons, but it controls a big portion of the map. So when the enemy team griefs like this, and none of them are like, now you guys are all on this side and they're running away. Now you can just go to mid lane and go try to take that tower. That's a huge play if you get it.
Right.
And remember when we just talked about how the enemy team wants to just sit, like, and group up together and team fight. With their mid tier 1 there, think about how safe it is for them if they're all the way up here at all times. Like, just all the way up to like this point, they can sit here and never be afraid. If this is gone, their safe point moves to back here. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, which is huge.
Right, that's massive for map control. That's like one of the big points here. But instead, you just kept chasing because you didn't make you didn't quickly make the decision. Okay, we just killed them. Now we're just chasing. I'm gonna go for mid wave because that's the more important thing here anyway. You know where I could contact you concerning business inquiries? You could contact me on Twitter or this email.
Hey, I didn't know that it made that big of a difference.
Oh yeah.
It's actually, yeah.
This dragon's the least of your fucking worries. Who gives a shit about this thing? Your teammates will get this on their own anyway. Enemy jungler's dead, so I mean, like now we're chasing some more. Like, think about it. Let's be real here. Is there any world you guys kill this fucking Israel?
No, definitely not. Yeah.
No chance. So instead of wasting all this time, you could be pushing mid wave, maybe taking mid tower, and that's a huge play. Also, because you haven't reset yet, this is what we call a tempo drop. So like look at the enemy team's death timers. So they're dead right now. In like, let's say if we take like a very high level game example, the best case scenario is when you can do whatever you're doing, objective, push a tower, whatever, recall before they respawn and you come out on the map before them. Because then you never let them get like a chance to push waves or anything like that, like we talked about. But because you waste all the time in Dragon, now you want to push a wave as well. And this whole time we still haven't pushed in top wave. Now you're going to reset, and it just took a long time, and that can hurt you in certain scenarios. But the biggest issue we're seeing here is that you still haven't gone top wave. Top wave has been sitting like that for so long, I can't even believe. And so here's another example. So tell me, why is this wrong?
I shouldn't be doing it because they're all topside, and I could take the bot tower for free here, and then pressure the map a lot more.
Right. It's like more even about the pressure than even taking the tower. It's more just about you doing something that makes the enemy team feel it.
Panic. Yeah.
Right. They have to like, okay, like look, Fiora's like, she literally doesn't have to worry about anything right now. She can do whatever the fuck she wants. She's not bleeding any CS because you're not pushing anything. That's that pressure that I'm talking about, that impact made me feel. I never got to do anything. I was like chained to my tower like a fucking dog, and I could not leave ever. No matter what. And that's when I really learned. I was like, holy shit, this is how top lane's supposed to be played. I've never felt that pressure before. Okay, so now what the hell is going? What is this Senna doing? Okay, let's try to get out of here now. Okay, see what you do. Oh, scary. Okay. You are so dangerously close to throwing this game out the window. I just want to, so like these are, when we talk about risk versus reward, like this play right here that you made, punishing this Senna for being a dog, this was great. From this point, look at your Swain right now.
He's pushing bot, so
Right.
I should probably just back off because it's winning for us.
Right,
It
like
took out Senna. Yeah, they
Right.
can't do anything.
you already took a situation where you should never get a kill and you got it because she was griefing. You punished her for that dog shit map awareness that she had. So instead of pushing your luck and potentially throwing the game out the window with Baron up, take that kill and just go top lane. Like, none of this nonsense where you're still fighting and almost dying and giving the enemy team a chance to potentially turn this around, right?
Right.
Like, that's the risk reward you need to think about. And like, you need to be realizing that you guys should have never got a kill here anyway. So like, not to push your, like, look, you guys get 3-man Ori ulted. So now you're going to top wave, but that could have been scary. Actually, that was fucking scary, to be honest. What the hell? And now, look, enemy team.
Ezreal gets mid tower,
Mhm.
and that makes it so that we have to go so far back to kind of play.
Also, when it comes to mid tower being important, look, this is what I'm talking about. Look how safe, look how confident the enemy team can play right here. They know they just have to take a few steps over here, and they're right next to their tower because that mid tier 1 is up. So in a situation like this, they don't have to be afraid at all. And look where they kite to.
To their tower.
Yeah, it's right behind them. So like, even if you try to chase, you can't. And because that tower's up, look where mid wave will permanently stay. It will never go past this point. So
Yeah.
Ezreal, like when you guys don't have mid prior like this, Ezreal can easily just push this a little bit and he's right on the tower. Whereas if it's up here, this takes a lot longer, right?
Yeah.
So now you guys lose mid tier 2. And so now same thing's gonna happen here. You can't. Okay, so you can't really chase this guy. You shouldn't even try. Honestly, you going down mid is like okay. The problem is, like we talked about earlier. This is a good example of understanding like win conditions in a game like this. You need to know, okay, can I carry a team fight here? And can we force a team fight? Like, is it possible?
It's difficult because they just have to go to their tower, right?
Right. It's very hard to kind of force against that team when they have mid tier 1 up. So, in a situation like this, you can try to spread them out by going to a side lane. It's a little tough to go bot lane right now because Baron is up, but taking all this poke from Ezreal,
It's not good.
right. I hope we're not sitting here for Krugs. God damn it.
Yeah.
You see why this is such a big problem, this right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. No
Like,
pressure on the map.
right, no pressure on the map, so they're just chilling next to Baron. Look at this. Look at this Ori. Like, if
Could
you...
just kill it. Yeah.
Right. You could have like preemptively went over here, jumped the wall, and sat in that brush. So now she just pushed a side wave in against a Riven. I don't know what item she has, but it doesn't matter.
She has Leandris, but it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Like, if you catch her in a side lane, she's dead every time. And now she's just chilling, pushing a side lane? No way. That should never happen. Let me see her items real fast. Look at this. No armor.
Yeah, no armor. I just one tap her.
Yeah, you just explode her.
Yeah.
And then you get a pick, and now the map state is totally different. Like, a good Riven players will never let someone do that. And notice, nothing we've really talked about here is mechanical. Has nothing to do with your Riven mechanics. Because you can have the best Riven mechanics literally in the world. But if you don't have this game knowledge of understanding how to pressure the map and how to push leads, so like to make the enemy team feel pressure, it's impossible to climb.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
And so now here, notice something. You see how...
shouldn't because the fight already started and it's about to end, so I should just push bot tower.
Right.
Try to trade, right? Yeah.
And notice how Ori is here for this fight.
Yeah, and because I didn't like kill her.
And because
like,
she got tempo advantage. You see how she pushed this first, and now you're just, okay, now you have to push it. Now she's already recalling. Now she's heading to the fight. Like, she's ahead of you because you let her do this. So, if you're ever ahead like this and you aren't noticing yourself put any pressure on the map, there's a big problem. And this is why. So it looks like you stay, which is the right play because I think Baron's gone. Problem is, once they get Baron, this game gets really, really hard.
Yeah, it was very difficult.
You could look for a pick here. So when they get Baron, you know they're all recalling. So like there's a world where you can try to salvage this by getting a pick on someone that's going to be coming into here. Like Ezreal might push this and then rotate this way, or Senna.
One of them. Yeah, I should just sit in the bush.
We'll see if they do.
Senna pushes it, but the point kind of still stands, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like it could have been a little dangerous. And if it was, you saw like, okay, 3 people are coming, like, fuck this, and that's fine. But basically, if you kill one person when they just got Baron, that's a big deal. So, and also, I just want to point out, we still haven't pushed that top wave. That top wave has been in that spot for like fucking 5 minutes, 10 minutes, like for so long, I can't even remember the last time. Oh, enemy team's griefing and doing dragon with Baron, that's great, but you, again, aren't. So, when you were heading to here, did you think, okay, I think we can win the team fight, so let's go fight dragon?
No, I didn't think we would win the fight dragon. It actually makes no sense why I won. I think I should just push top lane.
You should push mid lane.
Or yeah, mid lane?
Yeah, because
they're on dragon.
Right, they're giving up mid prio for dragon, which is griefing. They should never do dragon here with Baron. It's just straight up trolling. So
never do dragon when you have Baron.
No,
Okay.
because dragon's always a tempo drop, and Baron literally is used to take towers and open up the game. So all they have to do is push. If you guys do dragon while they have Baron, they're gonna take your whole fucking base.
Right. Yeah.
So they could just push, and then once you guys are all in base defending their Baron, then on the way out they could take dragon if they wanted. So instead of doing this shit, but do you see how you're just sitting here doing nothing, running in circles?
Yeah, there's nothing I'm doing.
If you push mid wave, and also, do you see how mid tower's still not gone? So that time earlier that you had a chance to go get it instead of chasing, that was like the only time you could have gotten it. And like I said, you can't win without getting it. So it's a big deal.
Right.
I
actually understand a lot more now about the importance of that tower. Usually I've always thought, oh, let me just get all the side towers, but I see how important it is to the game.
Yeah, it's huge, especially against a team that wants to group in mid. Now let's talk about this. So let's start from here. So Wukong just died. Enemy team has 5 up, and they're going to be pushing mid with Baron. What do you think you should do from this point?
I can't realistically defend the mid tower.
Okay, so what do you think you should do then?
I can push bot lane.
Right.
Because I'm already there.
Right. You push bot lane because there's nothing you can do mid anyway. You ping your teammates off. You tell them to give the inhib. Who the fuck cares about losing inhib? That's fine. You farm supers. You guys have Yasuo.
It's that anxiety that, oh, what if they just fight? But
yeah, if they fight like this, it's them grief. You have to do what you know is right. If your team griefs, they troll. You right here. Think about what's happening right here in a second. You pop your ult and you're about to jump in here. If this doesn't work and you guys die, what happens? You just fucking lose the game.
We lose the game, yeah.
So think about the risk reward here. The reward is, oh, you might be able to survive this and get a few kills. The risk is you lose. So instead of doing this crazy shit, you should have just kept pushing or not fought at all. I'm surprised you guys don't just straight up lose the game here because, yeah, everybody died. How'd you guys... Oh, no, Wukong came back to life or something? I don't know.
Yeah, Wukong came back to life.
So as you can see, that play, terrible, and you still lost the tower and the inhib, so like, there's nothing to gain.
Yeah, nothing to...
Whereas you keep pushing bot, at least you can like get that wave pushed out, get some free CS, and then you just give the tower an inhib and nobody dies. Well, your teammates might die, but you don't die. Okay, I don't know what that guy's doing. Oh?
I know she has no flash.
Like, look at that. Look how little counterplay there is.
Yeah. I should do a lot more.
Now we're finally pushing a side wave. The problem is, it's too late. Because they got mid inhib. So now you pushing side wave at this point, it's still good, but it's not as impactful because they have mid. Enemy team doesn't have to go mid anymore. They only have to go to 2 lanes, top or bot, because mid will push on its own. So now, yeah, you get this at least. You should just keep going.
Yeah, I should have just kept going.
This-
I could have just dove Senna and one tap
Yeah,
majority of the team.
she's trolling.
Yeah.
Fucking Senna farming side wave. If she has no sums, that's just a free kill. But now you're gonna come here and look. They're all gonna be gone. And look, what are we doing here? Nothing. We got nothing done again.
Yeah.
Might actually be able to catch her here. Yeah. It's not even close. Okay. Enemy team is trolling. That Senna has been griefing all game, actually.
Yeah.
So right here.
I felt like it was near impossible to get on top of them. So I think definitely just pushing side lane, having presence in the side lane is a lot more effective than just wandering around.
Yeah, I mean, look how fed. Oh my god, you're so fed, it's insane. And like, look at the enemy team. It's clear that they literally just want to team fight 5v5 because they win pretty damn hard.
Yeah.
But like, if I'm Ori this game, I would literally be saying, thank Christ this Riven isn't split pushing because we have no way of dealing with her. Literally, like, you're so fed. You could probably 1v2 them at this point. These two. So
Yeah.
that is a huge, that is so much pressure the enemy team will feel. And that changes this game entirely. Literally, it changes everything. The enemy team has to totally change what they're doing or make very risky decisions to deal with you. You just never made them have to do it.
Right. It's something that I struggled with, not knowing when to group or when to like team fight.
Yeah, it just comes down to win condition. Just think about win conditions and like what. So like, even if you think, okay, I think we can win 5v5, but who's gonna fucking start it? Like, they have Janna, and you know you can win 5v5, but you have no way to engage. So then it's like, okay. And like, let's say that's the situation, and you also can't side lane because your support's a dog, and enemy support just does anything they want. So then you have another option. You push side wave as well as you can, and then you look for a flank because that's the only way to engage. Since your teammates don't have engaged, like something like that. You have to just know your win condition. Your win condition this game is not to just group up and be target practice for Ezreal.
Right.
And look, you see how Fiora is just helping with objective fights? Because she doesn't have to give a fuck about you, because you don't do anything.
Right.
Cool. I think that was a really good VOD to look over. So yeah, that was a good VOD because it had it's exactly what I kind of thought was going to be the problem. But the main ones for sure is like, you need to mute, like, not only disable chat, but mute all so you don't see any pings or anything like that. Keep focusing on laning, of course. And then whenever you get fed, like, you have to remember that this game literally, even at a professional level, is all about pressure. The game can be 0-0. 0 kills for both teams in a professional game. They are still, it is still literally about who can put pressure on who. That's why when someone says in a professional scenario, who wins this matchup? Syndra versus Ori. Syndra every time. Why? Because Syndra can push Ori in. So Syndra has pressure in the lane, meaning she has prio in the lane, meaning she has tempo advantages, etc., etc., etc. You see what I'm saying? Like, from laning phase to late game, this game is literally all about who pushes and pressures, because that means the other team has to make decisions that they don't want to have to make. All that makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Thanks for the session.
Yeah, no problem, bro. So I saw our recent messages. I see I haven't I haven't responded to like a few things. If I don't respond to your message, you can literally just like ping me again. I just get so many, and I like have this bad habit of waking up in the middle of the night, opening my phone, seeing a message, forgetting I did that, and then I wake up and forget to respond to something. So like, you can just ping me again. I won't get annoyed or anything. I literally just miss it. So
Oh yeah, I thought it would be annoying.
No.
That's why I thought.
no, not annoying at all. You're good. So yeah, try to apply these things. Remember to try to focus on one thing at a time, and don't be so. I know this is such a two-head thing to say, but like, don't be so like what's the fucking word? The opposite of confident. You know, don't be like don't think you're worse than everybody else. Like this game, trust me when I tell you, so many high elo players are fucking dog shit nowadays because they abuse something to climb. Like a lot of these players you're against, that Fiora, same problem as you, like lacking fundamental things. So you are on the path to fix these fundamental things, and you will be better than them. So have some confidence in yourself and realize that even if you are worse than them, you're playing to learn anyway. So fuck it. Who cares? Who cares if you're worse? You should want them to be better anyway, so you can learn a little bit from them. But yeah, you have a little bit of confidence in yourself. There's a lot of good things that I see in your gameplay. You just need to, like that game that we just watched, there was a lot of good when it came to like mechanics and like going for kills that you could get and knew you could get. That was good. It was just pushing that lead better with macro is all.
Right.
Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem, bro. You have a good night.
Yeah, you do the same. Bye bye.
Peace.